Happy Monday. Today is Monday, October the 18th, 2021. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 75, Job 41 through 24, Hebrews 6, 1 through 12, or you could have read Psalm 37, 23 through 40, 1 Samuel 8, 1 through 18, and then Hebrews 6, 1 through 12. Again, I'm going to take a look at Hebrews 6 and talk about works that are meat. So Wesley has this term that he uses quite often. Where he's talking about the works that a Christian performs, things that we do, and it's encouraging people to do works meet for repentance, which is a really odd thing to say. What does that mean? Works meet for repentance. It comes from the archaic language like that you see in the King James Bible. So like in Matthew 3:8, it says it would say something like produce fruit in keeping with repentance if you read it in the NIV, like a modern translation, but the King James says produce works meet for repentance. So in other words, you should be about the business of living a life that shows you are indeed repentant, that you indeed have repented and are saved, that's like you should produce that kind of fruit in your life. Not just you shouldn't be just kind of like basking in the sun but never really being changed by the fact that you've been saved, because it's really easy to do that too. And that's what Hebrews text today is talking about. It's urging us on toward perfection, to keep to move forward, not to just to sit back and rest and drink in the sunlight. Matter of fact, that right before this part of the text, it literally talks about people that are like children in the faith or like infants in the faith, where they never get past the stage of enjoying that sweet milk that is like the good news of salvation. That they're still on baby food, because they can't get past that, but they never really move forward. They never really get any better. They're just like, oh yeah, I've been forgiven for all that, and they never make the next step, which is like actually moving forward, moving on toward perfection. Even if they do good works, Hebrews telling us they're dead works, because they're kind of doing them all for the wrong reason. Like I said, they're living on this sweet milk, but they aren't willing to cut their teeth, as Hebrews says, on the real meat of the issue. And the whole point of their salvation is being transformed into righteous people. That's what Hebrews is telling us we should be about, that we should be growing in this faith. Hebrews is like, I can't even give you meat to eat. You can't handle that truth about what you're supposed to be doing, that you're supposed to be moving on to perfection, because you're still just drinking milk. So Hebrews gives us this image, to follow up with of thirsty ground, right? This picture, the way the ground gets in July and August, especially around here when it hasn't really rained. It's been nice and hot, and the ground is just hard like a brick, and you can tell it's really thirsty. Everything, the grass is starting to turn brown. Trees are even looking kind of tired. And then you get a really good rain. And he said it's like ground, the thirsty ground that soaks up all the rain that it can handle. And he says if it's good ground, it takes in that rain and it bears fruit. In other words, it bears fruit that is worthwhile, right? Meat for that purpose. But bad ground soaks up all that rain and just produces useless thorns and thistles, he says. We all soak up a lot of grace from God, but what do we give back to show for it? That's the question Hebrews leaves us with today. Anyway, that's the DBR. Get out, enjoy the day. We'll talk to you later. See you later. Boop.